Hello, welcome again to another super exciting, spine-tingling episode of the RobotnikIsSexy show. Today we're gonna have another match versus Pokemonmaster88, also known as Chris. And with the help of our Pokemon Lord and Savior, Weedle Tweedle, his Discord server has been so helpful for me finding a match that if I didn't use it, I wouldn't find any matches at all. So that's how helpful it is. And Chris just beat my ass in RU, so I'm in the chat. I'm like, RU is not my tier. He's like, what tier do you like? I'm like, PU and OU. We like the bottom and the best and the worst. We like the best and the worst always, consistently for every Pokemon game for sure. So he's bringing this very threatening OU team, which has Zoroark. The new electric mouse Pokemon. No, it's not a mouse. It's like electric Infernape or something. I don't know. It's cool. It's really cool. And I'm using the Venusaur team with Rotom and Trichomagina and the Hoopa and Bound set that I keep changing every time. Next time I use this team, he's going to be Choice Scarf. But without further ado, let's get this battle going. Yes. There he is. It's Chris. Back again. Wanting that delicious battle versus me because I always make it close. I always bring it down to the wire. So he's expecting a fire move from Garchomp because he actually plays Pokemon. And right now in the OU metagame, Garchomp is carrying a fire move just like it did in 4th gen, actually, which is pretty cool. If you didn't know, maybe Garchomp gets increased special attacks, so that's like, I guess the reason or something, but I'm just defensive, Rocky Helmet, Stealth Rock. So he's expecting the fire move, goes into T-Tar early, which really doesn't matter. It's fine. I get up Stealth Rock, which kind of hurts him, to be honest, but it's not too big of a problem. We're gonna go for the Earthquake. If I was a man, I would have Dragon-tailed, actually. But I was pretty sure he would go into Ferrothorn, and I just want some decent damage. And it's not decent damage, because I'm max defense. It's piddly damage. But this gives me a switch into Crab, because I know he's going to go into Tapu Bulu. Hey, we are max HP! We can take a Horn Leech! Trick Room is not up yet! No, Trick Room is not up yet. Usually, the way this team is designed, we get up Trick Room, we Volt Switch, we get the slow Volt Switch, or the fast Volt Switch, or whatever. We're able to switch into Crab with Trick Room. And then it just goes on a killing spree, right? But the Trick Room isn't up yet. This is a very early match. He's going to go for the Horn Leech, confident that I'll switch out, trying to save this Pokemon. He just wants to hit whatever for a lot of damage. It does over half, which is respectable, but we're going to land that choice-banded Ice Hammer and faint Crump. Crump has been knocked out here. So that's Tapu. That's Bulu. The Bulu gone early is always good. I said it last video, like Tapu Bulu is OU for a reason, man. He's really, really, really good. So that is extremely good for me. It's also good he doesn't pursuit me here. We're able to switch out into Garchomp as the Earthquakes, which is pretty safe. People are carrying Earthquake to hit Toxapex in OU, by the way, for context. Like, they needed an excuse to run ground coverage. Ground type really took off this generation. Ground and Poison type just exploded. Like, they turned into, like, the best types ever. It's pretty cool to observe. Just as someone who's been playing competitive since 4th gen, right? So, we're gonna get in Magearna. And, because Magearna is a pretty safe switch versus Tranitar. I'm max defense as well. I would be able to take the Earthquake. He just switches into Ferrothorn again. I'm going to switch out hard. I could have probably gone for the Volt Switch there, but yeah, we're going to go for the hard switch. As he goes for the Leech Seed, he's just going to mess me up with Ferrothorn a little bit, I think, which is not great. That's not great. But well, we will deal with it. We are the Citrus Berry set after all, but it would have been really nice to keep this thing healthy to kill Zam. But I'm just going to throw out a Drain Punch. For context, in US, UM, OU right now, Choice Band Hoop Unbound is really popular, but I don't have Choice Band. Had I been using Choice Band on the set, that would have been a pretty comfortable 2-hit KO, I think, on Ferrothorn. Let me see that damage again. So he's going to knock me down, and I get my Citrus Berry, which means I can... Yeah, I think that would probably be a 2-hit KO, although the Leech Seed would save him anyway, so forget what I said. But anyway, yeah, we're free to steal his item now. But we're going to switch first, I guess, because we don't want the Leech Seed. Because I actually will go down to Recoil and Leech Seed, I know this. He knows this as well, he's going to get up Stealth Rock. Ferrothorn is just a really good Pokemon. Like, it's really good. It's really good. It just pressures teams, get up... It can use Toxic, it can... Like, actually, Hidden Power Fire is popular in Ferrothorn and OU right now, which is so crazy, because its special attack is so low. And what also is crazy is me Dragon Tailing this Ferrothorn because I hate it. Because there's no way I can make him switch out. Ferrothorn just walls me really effectively. So we are going to Dragon Tail out into Zerararara, the new electric mouse. He's not a mouse. It's some kind of cat man. Yeah, but he's kind of hunched over like Infernape's model. So it reminds me of Infernape. So we're going to switch out as he switches out as well. Of course he's going back into this guy. Now, I think a big reason I changed up Hoopa's set was because of this battle. Because it just struck me as a really good idea to Choice Scarf it and give it Trick. So I could Trick Ferrothorns. And if I ever get knocked off, then I'll steal their item with Magician. Or, like, for example, if they're using a consumable item, I can still use Magician later. But it would be a good set. So I kind of talked over a really important play. I'm going to Defog. That Defog turns out to be really, really, really important because I have Abominable to force out his Ferrothorn. It's the only thing that forces out Ferrothorn on my team, really. But I needed a safe switch into it because I don't want to switch into Hazards and Power Whip. Like that would probably knock out Crab, really. Like, do not sleep on Ferrothorn's attack stat. It's pretty high. So he sacks Tyranitar, which is pretty appropriate. Now he goes into Zam. I could sack Crab right here, but I don't want to because it stops Ferrothorn. So we're going to go into Hoopa. Now this is the moment in time where having a Choice Scarf would have been cool. I'm not sure if I would have been faster either way, however, because turns out he is timid, Mega Alakazam. So I probably would have been slower either way. I'd have to calc that. But I'm max speed hasty on this set. We're going to go for the signature Glory Hole attack, which does pretty good damage. And I get to steal his leftovers. And it also doesn't make contact, so I don't get Iron Barbs. So that's really cool. So we negate Sandstorm damage. And steal his item at the same time. So this is an effective way of weakening Ferrothorn, I suppose. I suppose it is worth it to Drain Punch him. The damage is a little disappointing just because Ferrothorn is so good. So he's going to Gyro Ball me to death. And that's acceptable. We got damage. We switched into a Psychic versus Alakazam, so we effectively blocked Alakazam, did a lot of damage to Ferro. That's okay. Now I'm just going to go for the Dazzling Gleam to knock out Ferro once and for all. Once and for all. This tickles me so much. I just killed it with a Dazzling Gleam on a max defense Magearna with no special attack investment. I'm sure that might have been a roll, really. So, we're going to see the signature move of Zerarar, the Plasma Fist, which is a very, very good-looking attack. He doesn't really know that I max defense, though, so Life Orb just doesn't do anything. Pretty underwhelming. I could see this Pokemon dropping to underuse eventually, too. But the fact of the matter is, Electric type is also one of the biggest types running around right now, which also just makes ground type better. But it's like poison, electric, fairy, steel, ground. Those are the guys you want on your team. Those are the cream of the crop right now in competitive OEU. So yeah, I think he's I think he's going to switch here. I really did want to Volt Switch, predicting that switch, and that would have been amazing, but this is good too. We're going to Dazzling Gleam. But if I had Volt Switched, I would have gotten a Pursuit kill with Crab, and that would have been so nice. But this is good as well. This is needed damage on Alakazam. Because if I am to live a Psychic, hypothetically, with my Mega Venusaur, who is Calm Nature, by the way, just throwing it out there. Yeah, Venusaur is not going to 2-hit KO with its attacks, so that's necessary damage on Alakazam. So, yeah, he makes the pretty cool play of absorbing my Volt Switch, and that kind of wears down a turn of Trick Room. But it's kind of worth it, because he has to trade in his Zoroark to do it. But this is all part of his master plan, of course, because he has Ash Greninja with the Waterium Z. He's bringing it in. He's gonna... It's the same story as Azumarill in one of my other battles that I uploaded in a passerby. It was a recent video, but like, I'm just using Azumarill as an example. If it's a threat, you can't switch out, basically. Because you can't. And that works out for Greninja, because he can drop that Waterium Z and get his Battle Bond. This is, I think this is the first time I've recorded Zoroark and Ash Greninja actually transforming. I usually kill it before it can transform. But I did not have that option right here. We still have a tiny advantage, 3 versus 2. But his Alakazam is set to sweep my whole team, unless something magical happens right now. So he's going to Dark Pulse, he's going to go for that flinch. It does, like, no damage, first of all. Second of all, I do not get flinched. Third of all, we get all that health back with Giga Drain, so that means I can take on Alakazam! Which is really important. Okay. And this is where it all ties back to that turn of Rotom Wash using Defog, and then me forcing him out with Crab. Like, that was, those 2 turns, so important. Because, if I hadn't cleared hazards, I believe, totally, in my gut, that I would have died to that Psychic. So that is a close as hell match. We're able to clear the hazards with Defog, which foddered Rotom in the process. We scare out Pharaoh with the Fighting type. And that allows us to switch in Venusaur, who gets all his health back with Giga Drain, which allows him to live a Psychic from Alakazam, who happened to be Timid Nature. Joey Poke-Aim told everybody to use Timid, because you gotta use it now. Modest is passé. You gotta use Timid Zam to outspeed those threats. And he lost because of it. If he was Modest Alakazam, he definitely would have won that match. But that's just on him, really. Thanks, Chris, for the 2 amazing battles. If you enjoyed them as much as I did, please comment, like, subscribe, blah, blah.